Hey there, friends. Hi, I'm Deandra Wardell. I am serving as one of the co-hosts of this year's KataCon conference hosted by Lean Frontiers. So it's, yes, all week long, we're in a conference with KataCon7, and we wrapped up, today wraps up day 3. So, day 3, like days 1 and 2, was fabulous. The presenters were amazing, and there were so many takeaways. Oh my goodness. I'm going to try to limit it to 1 or 2 takeaways from today. It's really hard because I have a list of about 20. But when I think about a way to describe day 3, I would describe it in a quote. And that quote is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And, this conference is sharing so much wisdom, so many nuggets, so much good information for improvers and coaches as we go about practicing the Toyota Kata, practicing a way to think scientifically and to apply that scientific thinking in terms of how we execute and, work towards accomplishing what we desire to see in the future state. And, oftentimes, because I am a person who's very visual, a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity with my good friends at the Just-in-Time Cafe to talk about visionary lean thinking. I talk about the strategic vision boards. I always think about the big vision, but the other part of that is you have to start somewhere. You have to take that one small step and then move on to the next one as you're working towards accomplishing whatever it is that your heart desires or whatever it is that you envision. And so one of the presenters today, Gemma Jones, talked about micro-learning and how micro-learning applies to the kata. So one of the things that makes the kata so powerful is that it teaches us about taking a tiny step and then reflecting, doing a reflection based on what you learned, and then you form a hypothesis to work towards your next step as you're, working to get closer and closer to your target condition. Well, what Gemma shared today in talking about these kata micro learnings, it's a tiny burst of knowledge, and how, after, any opportunity or after any experience you have, or after any experiment, or after any learning, it's always good to immediately reflect and figure out, what is that tiny burst of knowledge? What is your new aha? So, during KataCon Day 3, there were just so many tiny bursts of knowledge. I felt like there was popcorn, not only in my mind, but popcorn all over the screen, popcorn in the chat, popcorn of kata micro learnings of what everyone experiences. We were thinking about what's the next small step we could take. And as a result of that, as of, a result of what I experienced today and what we've talked about today, oh my goodness, I have so many tiny micro learnings of things that I want to test and things that I want to do, and you applying the kata to help transform this world. And like I talked about on day 2, creating this future we desire to see. And I don't know if you can pick up on it from this video or not, but I am so energized. I am so inspired, and I'm so excited. And I now have so many ideas, very, very small ideas, but I see how they connect to the big vision of what I aspire to do, and that's to create a world of problem solvers. And by getting more people to learn and incorporate the Toyota Kata with whatever it is that they're doing in life. And I mean, I'm just totally geeked, and I'm totally pumped up. And oftentimes I share with some of my friends, Mark Graven especially. I'm always, messaging Mark. Hey, Mark, I got an idea. So I have an idea. And today, as having this opportunity to reflect, I just have so many ideas about things that we can do to help people along, and to take this knowledge that we're gaining to show people, how to connect to their purpose and do whatever it is that their heart desires, but not to be overwhelmed by it, because they can take it one small step at a time. So that's one takeaway from today. My other takeaway, as a result of, the reflections and the different Kata microlearnings that I've drafted, I could not help but to go back down memory lane. And, so we're talking about the future, how with the Kata we have the ability to create the future we want to see. But I want to take a few seconds and look in the rearview mirror and look at, the path that I've traveled on this Kata journey. And I just think about my very first experience as an improver or a learner, and something I share with my colleagues today, that no matter where you are on this journey with the Toyota Kata, at some point in time, you are a learner. You had your very first storyboard. And I am so grateful that my very first storyboard, my very first interaction beyond reading the books and the training and learning about the 5 question cards, when it actually came time to practice the Kata, I'm so grateful for Tracy Defoe, because although Tracy was firm, don't get it twisted, she was very much a solid and firm believer of practicing code number 4 of the Kata code, beginners practicing the Kata exactly. But she is, whenever, I hear about the 5th Kata code, have a coach and be a coach, I think about Tracy Defoe, because Tracy, not once during our coaching session did she ever say, Deandra, I want you to trust me. Deandra, I want you to know that I care about you. She didn't have to. Her actions, she demonstrated that in her actions. And as a result of that, although I was very nervous about my first storyboard, I was very frustrated because I had these big, huge target conditions, and she would ask me questions and challenge me to get my target condition within scale of something realistic, so that it was something manageable and I could feel a sense of accomplishment as I was working toward my goal. That trust that was developed with Tracy, and as a result of practicing the Toyota Kata, helped to elevate and really transform my own management style and how it is I work with others, and how I coach others, and how I interact with others, whether when it's within a coaching cycle, or just having day-to-day conversations. And one of the things that I'm hoping that everyone takes away from these videos that I'm doing each day, yes, we are having a blast at KataCon7. We always have a blast. But the joy and the excitement extends beyond the conference, because we are all committed to doing the work, to doing and to practicing what it is that we experience as a result of going through the steps of the Kata. And that is to create the future we want to see. And of course, it's about developing minds and getting people to do scientific thinking, but it's not something cold and mechanical and sterile. It is a very warm experience. And I truly believe the Toyota Kata can change the world. And that is why it's part of my purpose and my mission to do everything I possibly can to introduce everyone to the Toyota Kata. Because I truly believe that it can help us to create the world we want to see. So that's it. I'm done. But hold on, I'm not quite done. One more thing to share. I know that these summaries have been pretty high level. I'm trying not to talk too long in these videos, but I am so excited about an opportunity that will be available to you. On March 24th, I will be doing a webinar with our good friends at KaiNexus, and it's a free webinar, so you got to register for it. But what the webinar is about is Kata in the community. And I will give a high-level overview. I will explain the steps of the Improvement Kata. I'll talk about the coaching Kata. The other part, the community part, I've been talking about this sense of community all week long in these videos. And I will share some of the highlights from people who have coached me, things I've learned along the journey, things that I have shared as a coach, and then some of these, great micro learnings and takeaways from the presentations this week. I'll be sharing that during the webinar. And then I'll be talking about Kata in the community, how we are using the Toyota Kata to create this world that we want to see. The Toyota Kata is part of the inspiration for the root cause racism movement. Like I said, I see the Kata in everything. And I hope that you will join me for the webinar next week so that you can start to see the Kata in everything as well. So it will be next Wednesday, March 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can register at KaiNexus.com/webinars. And I'll also provide the link to this post that you can register for the webinar as well. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I talked much longer than I wanted to, but I get so excited about the Toyota Kata. Can you tell? Anyway, until next time, we have 3 days down. We have 2 days to go. We got a Kata. Kata is awesome. Kata rocks. My Kata friends rock. I'm having a blast co-hosting. Tilo Schwartz is amazing. Lean Frontiers, they're a really cool group of people to work with. And this has just been an overall fabulous experience. Okay, the end. I'm done. Good night. See you tomorrow.